35. Good afternoon, good evening, everywhere you're watching us from. This is also another live session of Property Matters that you can see. The topic has been stated there. Important things you need to know about some property developers in 2025. I want to start this session by saying a very big thank you to everybody that have been working with us. We received numerous appreciation from a lot of people, uh, words of appreciation. I never knew that people what we're doing, and I want to say thank you to everybody that have in one way or the other encouraged us. I really don't take this for granted. I want to say a very big thank you for everybody, okay, who have in one way or the other, sent us their word of appreciation. I don't take this for granted. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We pray that God will, continually, strengthen you as well. So we're going to be discussing something very important for some of us. In case you are coming to this live stream, for the first time, I want to encourage you to please do well to share this live stream. Please do well to share this live stream. More importantly, if you are a real estate, so for me, anything she's shouting. If you are a real estate investor, please do well to share this live stream because I'm going to be discussing some important truth. I take it as important truth. So please do well to share this live stream. And I'm also going to be here on the 10th by God's grace. I'm also going to have another live stream on the 11th. So let's talk about important things you should know about some property real estate developer. I was constructed not to use some because I would not want to, generalize. So I would say that you want to be part of this. For some people who have also been working with us, I want to say a very big thank you to everybody. We know how strenuous it has been. We know how stressful it has been for you to join this live session. We appreciate. So I'll be going very quickly to the subject of discussion. The moment I have 5 people join this live stream, please apologies for that. And of course, in case you miss this live stream, do well to watch it. And like I said, endeavor to share it because what we're discussing, okay, they are important things that every real estate investor needs to understand and things they need to put into consideration regardless of your choice of real estate. We're also going to be having another live stream where we're going to be talking about the rental market, the rental crisis in Lagos, Nigeria, part 2. I did the part 1, so it's also on this my channel, so you can do well to also join that as well the moment you have the opportunity to do so. So I'm sharing this live stream link because I want people to be part of it. You obviously want to be part of it. You don't want to miss any session of this. Okay, so do well to be part. Subscribe, okay? And I will have played music today. I just found out that uh, the battery of our other device is down, so I'm charging it. We didn't even pay attention to that. So I'm just coming from a site inspection now. I went to see some project on behalf of some real estate investors, and trust me, every day we explore, every day we always, go all out, for you real estate investors to have, the best. We've been to some certain places, and I can tell you vividly that a lot of things are happening. Projects are springing up right, left, right, and centers. A lot of people are doing a lot of good development works. Kudos to every um, um, real estate investors. And for those who have been following this our live stream, let me also quickly say this, that we are also a real estate consultants company. Uh, we help you get property in your choice location. Okay, we have one people join. Okay, you can get like three more. We'll go straight to the main topic. Today is loaded. Trust me, today is 100% loaded. You certainly don't want to miss every part of it. Please join. So when I have few more people join, I'll just go straight at it. So like I was saying, in case you are interested in any form of real estate investment in any part of Lagos, because for those who have been following us, you know that professionalism is our core, and we are keen on in ensuring that all our investors get the best. So I've also been going live on YouTube very quick. I say YouTube on our I'm going live on our Facebook, so our Facebook community can also join. Okay, I have 4 people. All right, so we're going straight. All right, so for everybody that have joined, please, you can share this particular video. You can share it with your friends. You can share it with your family, and please just give us a thumbs like this video, so that we can YouTube can also recommend it. You can just give us double click. All right, so we are going live now also on Facebook. All right, so we're going live on Facebook. All right, also very quickly, I want to say a very big thank you to everybody that have been following us, for everybody that have been making. Of course, we got a word of encouragement. Several real estate and people reached out to us. Okay, I'm live on Facebook. I'm also live on YouTube as well. All right, so I want to quickly say a very big thank you to everybody that have been following us. Now, while we're having this important conversation, important things you should know about some real estate developers. While we're having this conversation, a lot of people have been saying, I think our emphasis, should focus essentially on projects that, real estate investors can be part of. But what's the essence of a project, okay, if your satisfaction and, more importantly, the safety of that investment is not guaranteed? It is just like a scenario, okay, where we are put, and Nigeria can afford, to do nonsense, and if you know across some things, I've seen a lot of people, they've done nonsense and they've gotten away with it. So for us to, in this 2025 real estate year, for us to avoid cases of going to taking somebody to police station, having a lot of problems that are, to me, 100% avoidable, it is very important that we follow some basic information, okay, so that as we invest, we need to put all these into consideration, and knowing fully well that they are also venturing into development. So it becomes extremely difficult, okay, to identify someone who is original from someone who is fake. Please help me with that water. So it becomes extremely difficult to identify a fake from original, because you see, we have, okay, get me another water from the fridge. So it is very difficult to identify fake from original. And I've spoken with a lot of diasporan investors, and it's just quite unfortunate that if some of them had, some of the informations I'm sharing today, they would have been in a situation, or they would have avoided some of the unpleasant situations that obviously shouldn't have happened in the first place. So when we talk about important things that every real estate investor should know, the first thing I want every real estate investor to understand basically is that the market is saturated, and it has become extremely difficult to tell lie from true, except you are working through someone who is vast and knowledgeable in the industry. Now, when I say the market is saturated, what exactly am I referring? Now, the reality basically is that there's this saying, there's this mindset, there's this orientation that real estate development or real estate activities is the Lagos new oil money. Okay, now this is not okay to generalize, but I've seen a lot of people go into, I've seen a lot of scenarios of people who are in the business of real estate simply because they want to exploit a whole lot of people. And it has become increasingly annoying that, fortunately for some diasporans who may not be, aware of the fact that there are different motives for different developments. There are different motives. You know, apologies to the non-Muslims or those who don't practice it. I would like to quote the scriptures which says, the heart of men are desperately wicked. And the Bible says, how can you, I'm not preaching, how can you unravel or know or walk away from an impending danger except through which you understand this? Good evening, Ma. Welcome, Ma. Welcome, Ma. Welcome, Ma. Thank you for joining. So how can you know? So number one, the industry is saturated. Everybody have seen this industry or the real estate as the new oil money. And this has become extremely difficult because a lot of people are throwing different developments, different projects, different products. And sometimes this thing becomes increasingly confusing for real estate investors who have good intention of getting the best. So the saturation of the market has become it has become increasingly difficult for you to unravel who is lying and who is telling the truth. The second thing basically that you need to know about some real estate developers is that the intention for development also differs. You need to understand. See, this is one of the most crucial things that some real estate investors don't understand. The motive. Now, when they are projecting, and this is the property that is reigning, this is the new development that is in vogue, everybody is talking about this, everybody is investing about this, everybody is doing this about this, it becomes increasingly or almost impossible, okay, for real estate investors to unravel or know the motive why that is behind that development. When I talk about development, there are those who are offering you that project basically simply because they want to make money. I've seen several instances, okay? People are in this business of development because they don't care about what becomes of what they've sold or what happens to that place. Their major aim basically is that they want to make money off you and probably enrich themselves and probably abandon that project. On the other hand, other people are in that business, pardon me, other people are in that business simply because they want to give you value for what you have paid for. So you need to understand that the motive for development differs. That's the second point. I talked about the market being saturated as a first point. I talk about the motive for such developments. And this is why it is very important that if you are doing real estate, because the market is saturated, because now everybody right now, okay, are now realtors. So it becomes extremely difficult for you to know someone who understands or who has sound knowledge of the industry, someone who can, successfully walk you through the legal, requirements, the documentation requirements. This will not change anytime soon. Now, the reason why I'm outlining this basically is due to the fact that I would say that when I see a honest and hardworking Nigeria who has worked several jobs, okay, to raise money, okay, and buy properties and there've been cases of this has happened, and it's quite sad that these things are happening almost all the time. So you want to understand that. Then the next thing basically is that the next you also need to know about some real estate developers or real estate development in Lagos is that not everybody can give you 100% development. Not every, so a lot of people invest and they have these high expectations of having world-class development. They are expecting, the road in the estate to be tarred. They're expecting street lights, that to be provided. A lot of people have high expectations, and that's why they're buying into that project. But you need to understand basically that in this industry, it has become almost impossible for every real estate developer to give you that 100% development. You need to understand that development is a partnership thing. Now, when I say it's a partnership, that what I'm saying basically is that the government will definitely have to play their role, and of course, the developer will have to play their role, and which most of them don't. One of the things I've been having, one of the major issues I've been trying to resolve for some who bought into some properties, even in, don't say that situations like this, okay, are wholly more rampant, okay, in some of the Ibeju, Lekki, Epe. You'll be mistaken if you believe that this is just rampant. There are some projects, okay, on some parts of the island that is also struggling to achieve development. So you need to have a holistic understanding or a perception of how the industry works. So the third point basically is that not every real estate developer can achieve 100% development. Not all of them. Not all of them. So the kind of investment you will have or the kind of investment you should do, okay, is that you need to understand. I've said this in almost all the time in all of my videos. I've said you need to understand that different real estate developers have different perception to development. Your own perception of what development from the person you are buying from. I've worked with some real estate developers. I've had interaction with some real estate developers that their own perception of development is that let them clear the land for you, let them put a gatehouse, let them fence it all around, and they have done development. You, on the other hand, you're expecting the developer to put in at least some drainage facilities, to put in maybe recreational centers and the likes. But their own perception is that that obviously cannot happen. So you need to understand and of course have an interaction that, Mr. Real Estate Developer, in this property that I want to buy from you, what exactly should I expect from development? And don't just stop at what you should expect. Then you should also attach a time frame to when all these things will be done, because it becomes almost extremely impossible, okay, to buy from someone who doesn't care and expect him to develop as at the way you have anticipated. That is point number 3. Not all real estate developer will achieve 100% development or the development you are expecting. Point number 4, not all real estate developers are sincere. Not all of them are sincere. Now, the reason why I usually come out, okay, to share my wealth of experience on my channel, on my Facebook, and on of my social, this is why you should be part of this this life. If you are not part of this life, endeavor to share. See, there are some things that I will discuss here that to have issues or problems that can be avoided by just watching this video. So endeavor to share. If you are not live, endeavor to share. You can watch it like, of course, it will be, I'm going to upload it. Now, not all of them are sincere. Now, when you talk about the issue of sincerity, the issue of sincerity differs in different respects. Now, when a new real estate development company is starting on the first instance, and the real estate developer needs patronage, needs people to buy from them, I've seen instances whereby they will give unrealistic hope of what they intend to do. Now, one thing I've come to realize, okay, in this my I started real estate in 2019. This is 2025. You know, I'm not a small boy in this industry. So, like they will say, permit you to use this pigeon. How you don't see it. When they are first starting up, they are always humble. They are always accessible. In fact, they will be the one to do this and do this. The moment majority of them have made money, at that point, they become inaccessible. So you want to understand basically that the area of sincerity or the area of being accessible is dependent at the stage and the level that the real estate. So when the company is just starting newly, you have access to the MD, you have access to every top officer in that organization. The moment they've made enough money and they've expanded, you have the problem of accessibility. And this is why, and that's why sometimes, okay, if, you know, for some realtors, they will tell you that they work with some brokerage companies who between them, okay, and the company. Over time, that system has worked. But I, as an individual, I'm not going to have any dealing with you if I'm not accessible to you. That has been my number one criteria for working with any real estate developer. All of them, if I cannot call you and say, okay, this is what my client is going through, this is what we want, and you cannot pick my call, or you are giving me appointments, I'm honoring the appointment, and you are not there. The moment I discover, okay, that you are not accessible, I'm not going to work with you. And when I'm working with real estate developer, there's always what we call a memorandum of understanding I sign with them. So that obviously protect all my investors. So the issue of I've not been allocated, the issue of I'm not having, you know, access to my property, it doesn't happen with me, because the issue basically is that I don't do brokerage. I go straight to the person I'm dealing with. And that sometimes, if I'm doing my due diligence, in fact, sometimes most of these guys are not even aware that I'm investigating their title, I'm investigating their license. In fact, to the point that even after we've done the general inspections, at times that I drive to that site, sometimes weekend, sometimes on Sundays, to see if there are issues of conflicts or money issues. So the reason why I've been able to solve the issue of not having access basically is I did directly with them. I did directly. So I don't do brokerage or this. So some people say if you have issues, maybe the developer is not accessible, the brokerage will come. Well, maybe, but basically I decided to do directly with them, so that when we have issues of importance, you don't give me stories. That is it. So some are not sincere, and on the other hand, these guys have built a brand over the years that they will do everything within their power to protect and, of course, maintain the integrity of that brand. So the issue of sincerity is very, very important. Then the next point, which is the fifth point, basically, is that not all of them will abide by the regulations that is being stated by government. Very important. So if you are doing real estate in Lagos, you need to understand, okay, that there are some regulations that government have stated, and following these regulations, okay, will determine if the property you have bought will be there 5 years after purchase, 10 years after purchase, 20 years after purchase. Now, while some of these guys have thoroughly understood these regulations and they are ready to abide by it, some will not. Is it that they are very stubborn or they are not law abiding? Now you need to understand that when government specify some regulations, it is very expensive to follow regulations. For instance, government may say at every level of construction, you are supposed to contact some agencies of government to supervise okay, that level of construction in order to ensure that the integrity of that construction, the safety of that construction, and of course, this construction is built according to the regulations. That is what has been stated on paper. Now, whilst the importance of this regulation, some will try to cut corners. And this is why it is very important that you need to understand and work with someone who is ready to follow the regulations, because it has become like a norm now, okay, for people to go into projects without having the important documentation that has happened. It's very important. It is possible for some real estate developer, for some companies rather, to build without having approval. It's very important. So not everybody will follow the regulations. That's also another thing you should know. Not everybody will follow the regulations. So these are the 5 key things that you need to know about some real estate developers in Lagos. It might not be in Lagos, it may be everywhere. So if you have followed and you have understood some of these things as I have outlined, then the question you now do is that, or the next question you should ask basically is that, how can I, okay, avoid working with these guys that may put my real estate investment into jeopardy? I think that should be your main area of focus as an investor. So what you now need to understand going forward into the 2025 real estate year basically is that as you are approaching, or as we are in the 2025 real estate calendar year, one thing you should do is that don't prioritize price over value. Now, the reason why a lot of, I'm not saying that everybody selling cheap is fake, oh, please, no. Let me quickly make this, this quick disclaimer before I go further into today's. So I'm not saying, okay, that everybody who is selling cheap properties are fraudulent. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that every real estate developers are guilty of this. I'm not saying that, because when we make Abraham, so when we make important videos like this, it is very important that we clarify some of our analysis and our points so that we will not be misquoted in different instances where a lot of investors have met people and said, Adejare said this. I'm not saying, no, what I'm saying basically is that we are opening you to the possibilities, okay, of what may happen as we approach this. Because the thing is that in Nigeria now, or in some part of, we are just, this is the 7th day of the month. For us, I didn't even go on holiday. I was moving around, doing a lot of, in fact, I didn't even have vacation. So Christmas, New Year, okay, I didn't work on Christmas. I actually took a rest on Christmas. But as from the 26th, Boxing Day, we started work. for some of us that we have to pay salaries, we have to do a lot of things. We have so we don't work or rest like the way we do. But of course, I mean, go for vacation, maybe one day vacation anytime soon. I wouldn't want us to digress. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is that not everybody is guilty. Not all real estate developers are doing this. Not all real estate development company are fraudulent. I'm not saying all of them are fraudulent. I'm just saying that the possibility of all these things happening are very, very high. And this is why, if you are approaching the 2025, who is there? Nobody should go there again. Apologies. As you're approaching the 2025 real estate year, 3 important things you should ask for. Whether you're buying a land, you're buying a shop, you're buying a farm, or you're buying a house. In as much as fact that you are buying real estate, these are the 3 important things you must ask the developer before you commit. The first thing basically is the deed of purchase. Now, when I'm talking about the deed of purchase, I'm talking about the deed of purchase between the person that wants to sell to you and the person he bought it from. Now, the reason why I'm insisting on this deed of purchase basically is that our lawyers have read some deed. Yes, they've read some deed, and they found out that there are some loopholes in that deed that can, if the person that have sold to the developer is a very dishonest person, or the person is fraudulent, or the person is, I would say, maybe of evil-minded. Our lawyers told us that the person that sold can capitalize on that loopholes and reclaim the land. So it is very important that you want to see the deed of purchase. Though a lot of people may be reluctant in giving you, but it is apparent, even if it's just the first page, and which is of course the most important place where there is transfer of ownership. It is very important you look at that deed. The next thing you should also look out for basically is the title documents of that property. The title documents. Now, the reason why you need to look at the title documents basically is due to the fact that you want to be well rest assured of if the title document is what they say it is. Now, when I say if it is what they say it is, I've seen instances whereby some people will say they have excision and you investigate, there's no excision there. They will say they have excuse me, they will say they have C of O and you find out that the C of O that was projected, okay, there was a case I settled on the 27th of December last year, and the reason why the case got to that point was due to the fact that all the government agencies that were supposed to help us validate and verify those documents, they've gone for the the festive period break, and there was a pressure, okay, on that investor to pay that they were doing Christmas promo, and they were saying if peradventure you don't know when all these officers will come back to work, government workers and the likes, blah 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 blah. And the client called and said, what should I do? I said, well, what you should do basically is that we are yet to verify this particular C of O document that has been given to you, and I don't want a situation whereby after checking it, okay, we'll find out that the title does not exist, or we check it, the title exists, and you miss the promo. I said, okay, fine. I said, if 1 million naira is something you can use to key into that project, okay, pending the time, most of these government offices, some of them are just resuming today, some resumed yesterday. Pending the time, we'll be able to, check and, and of course, verify the total document. So she gave the 1 million, and yesterday we found out that the CFO that was portrayed as the CFO was an agreed CFO, and they sold the property as residential. So the woman was just like, thank you very much for this advice. Assuming she gave them the entire money, number one, they will struggle to refund that money. Number two, she stuck to that property. So you want to verify the documents, and finally you also want to ensure if it is a building project, they have all the approval. Now kindly note that the way the approval is being done is that for every stages of construction, an approval is given. For every stages of construction, from the foundation, even to block setting, even to decking, approval is required. So you obviously want to see, as I'm explaining some of these things now, many people don't understand that if you are in the diaspora, it becomes extremely difficult for you to ensure. That is why you need to work with us. See, they will say, if you want to catch somebody, you need a CCTV camera, okay, to monitor the person's activities so that they can give you an updated information on some of the things he's doing. So we are like the watchdog that can ensure that your investment is safe. So these are some of the things you should know as we approach, as we are in the real estate 2025 years. So will people sell untitled properties? Yes, now plenty. Will people sell properties with fake title documentation? Well, I've seen instances whereby people who are selling, the developer who is selling, knows the certain condition and or certain status of that property, but the developer is selling in anticipation that when he starts doing the proper documentation, he will get it. And sometimes you don't get to know, okay, the status of what is being sold until you investigate further. So there have been instances where some real estate investors were asking, okay, Ade, do you think I should go ahead? I most time what I told them basically is that if in decision whereby the documents are not 100% perfect, let them include an indemnity clause on your contract. So if there's peradventure, you know that investment is safe. It's either they give you another property or they refund you. And that refund is not after 90 days ultimatum on the likes. That refund is almost instant. So these are the things you should pay attention to as we approach the 2024 real estate market. So the next live stream that we'll be having is going to be on the 10th, by God's grace, of January. And on the 10th, we are going to be addressing, even if I'm not live in our studio here, wherever I am, maybe I'm on way to site or I'm driving back home, I'm going to come live. But it may just be on YouTube because I may not have the gadgets, you know, it's too obvious, so I may have to hold the phone. But we're going to be talking about housing crisis. And in that particular video, I'm going to be giving you a statistical record of people who are out of home. I'm going to give you a statistical record of Lagos population. I'm also going to be giving you a statistical record of the inflow of people into Lagos. We're going to be talking about the assets. Now, the ongoing Lagos Calabar Coastal Road. I'm also going to be talking about what you should expect. We're going to be discussing something that is very, very crucial. So whether you are a new or old real estate investors, you need all these informations, okay, that we are sharing to help you make an informed decision. You need all these crucial informations. And of course, you can choose to invest with us. We have legal teams, we have surveyors, we have town planners, we have people who can ensure that investment. So you can work with us and you get the best in any, whether it is house you want to buy, land you want to buy, office space, shopping malls, square meters of shopping malls. You can be rest assured that you'll be getting the best. So I'm going to be stopping now. In my last video, I got some couple of questions, so I have just 10 minutes to end this live stream. I have just 10 minutes to end this live stream. So I've written some of those questions here, and I'm going to be responding to them in 10 minutes. God help me. And if you have further questions, of course, if you have been following this channel, my number is on every videos I've posted on this channel. Whether you want to message my Airtel, my MTN, they are all WhatsApp enabled number. You can send WhatsApp to any of those numbers. And I personally, okay, I'm not giving to any of my staffs. I personally will respond to some of those messages, and of course, I'll give recommendations based on our own level of expertise and experience that we've been able to, gathered in the course of the real estate, in the course of practicing real estate in Lagos. So I'm going to quickly attend to some questions. I have numerous spots in my live stream, in my next live stream, which is on the 10th. Which is, I'm going to have a live stream on the 10th. I'm going to have it on the 11th. So I'm going to have it comfortably, consistently. So what we'll be doing basically is doing investors enlightenment, okay, on real estate investments. And there will be a live stream where I'll be talking and I'll be giving zones, okay, places of rental appreciation, areas where real estate investors should focus on. And of course, I'm also going to be talking about some whole lot of, so this excuse me, this 2025 real estate year, if you follow this channel, if you share this video, if you stick to us, you can be rest assured that you won't make mistake when you're investing in real estate. That one is also tested. Excuse me, please. So you can be rest assured that you won't be falling into the hands of wrong real estate investors if you choose to work with us. So, excuse me, please. So the first question. How soon will excuse me, please. Excuse me, please. So the first question says, how soon will all the properties in the international airports, how soon will they develop? Can you give an estimated time frame? Wow. Thank God you said estimated time frame. Well, I honestly cannot give an exact date of when the properties in the Lekki Epe Expressway will be totally developed. I cannot say that. I'm online, and whatever I'm doing is recorded. People can still work and people can still make reference for it. So I wouldn't want to give an estimation of what may not be realistic. And I want to just say, Adejare said this. No. So the only thing I say you should do if you're interested to invest in that axis, okay, is that don't buy because of price. Now, for some of us that come online, you have seen developers that are putting infrastructures in that area. You have seen what Amen is doing at their phase 3. In fact, that phase 3, before the end of the year, I can assure you people will start residing there. You have seen what Lekki Aviation Town is doing. They are also building. You are seeing what Zularich is doing at all of their Tiwas. You are seeing what other notable real estate developers are doing there. So there are real estate developers who are working. I mean, time will fail me to mention all the. So there are a couple of real estate developers who are putting on development in their estates. Okay, and the reason why most of these guys are doing this basically is that it is when that place become 100% or achieve some level, certain level of development before they can even ask you to pay 100 million, 50 million, and I can assure you those places will sell for that. So my advice to you as a real estate developer is that Prioritize those. Don't say this one is selling for, let's say, is an assume price. This one is selling for, let's say, 50 million is an assume price, and the other one is offering me 25 million. Shebi is just land. Now, someone who is offering 50 million must have factor the cost of drainage, must have factor the cost of beautification, must have factor the cost of electricity. The mistake most real estate investors make is that they are buying because of price. Now, you cannot buy from someone who is charging high and expect somebody who is selling for you maybe 10 or 15 million to put the same infrastructure with someone that is charging 50, 60, 70 million. It is not possible. We have to be realistic with ourselves. Sometimes, okay, I've seen instances whereby a lot of people have, been saying they just fenced and gates. The reality basically is that the place development is in stages, is in phases. Are we together? So, okay, I got a question on my live stream on Facebook. This question says, are you marketing? No. No, I'm only citing real estate development companies that I'm seeing obvious development there. So there might be more, it's been a while, but I drove past towards that place. So I'm seeing people who are putting obvious development there. Okay. So common sense says, don't ignore some who are working and buy from those who is not working, because the person that is working does not need to shout because his work is speaking volumes for him. Do you understand? You are seeing what Veritas is doing at Itunu. You are seeing what Lekki Aviation Town is doing. You are seeing what Amen is doing, Phase 3, Tiara and the likes. You are seeing what Tiwa is doing. You are seeing what other developers are doing too. So the mistake you will now make basically is that you will leave those who are working and go and buy from those who are promising future development simply because the price is low. I am not saying that every other developers will not develop or put infrastructures there. What I'm saying basically is that every developers will put development there according to their financial capability. So I cannot give an exact date of where or when development will start, but I can tell you that development is happening almost every day, and you're seeing what these real estate development companies are doing. So like Miss Timmy said, I'm not marketing, I'm just opening real estate investors' eye to the possibility. Now, will every other estate develop? Yes, they will now. They will. The only thing is just that what determines when somebody is developing and when somebody is not developing is accessibility to fund. I've said it before that when it comes to real estate development, okay, what determines a place that is developed from a place that is not developed is access to funds. Not all real estate developers have the same financial capability. Do you understand? So that is it. Okay, so the next question, I said I was going to be out in 10 minutes. I've always spent almost 6 minutes. Okay, the next question says, okay, the reason why I'm not going to read this question is this particular person that sent this question has violated our rule. Now, when it comes to you having issues or problems, you don't mention the name of the company, but I'll just summarize what he's trying to say. I bought from a real estate developer. Actually, this person mentioned the name, so I'm not going to mention the name. And the developer's signpost is not there, and there's no any sign of development in the Lekki Epe Expressway. What is going on? I can't tell you what is going on. I honestly cannot say this is what is going on. I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again, that the person handling your real estate investment is very important. It's as important as the property you are buying. There are some people that after they've sold to you, you won't see them again. And I've said this, you can't be having dealings with such kind of person and still expect your real estate investment to be safe. Now, these real estate developers have a whole lot of things they attend to on a daily basis. So you need somebody who will constantly send them reminder and ensure they do the needful. It's not as if they will not do the needful, but most of these guys have a whole lot of things they are attending to, so it is almost impossible for them to remember your situation, or let you have somebody who can be putting your situation in their constant reminder. Now, there are some couple of estates, okay, in the Lekki Epe axis that have been repurchased. The only thing I will not do is to mention names. That there are a lot of things that happen in that axis, so I'm thinking of doing a video, okay, explaining what actually happened in that Lekki Epe axis. And I can recall that in one of my videos, I was saying that there are some locations that you want to buy that the strength, the political power, and the backing the real estate developer has in that location is very important. So I'm saying, I've said it several times, that the safety of your investment is dependent on the power the developer has. So there are some locations some people will tell me they are selling, and even I myself, I won't even bother to go there. I'm not trying to underestimate them. No, see, there are some things that they are obvious reality. You don't need a soothsayer to tell you that this person that is offering this location, how long has he been in the industry? What is his financial capital? Does this person have the resources to go to courts or to pay some money off the property? These are questions. So there are some situations of people tell me, a lot of developers have reached out to me and they are saying this location. I will just tell them, okay, I've heard. You obviously does not need to tell me that I will develop this. I will know that you are just passing your boundary. So in essence, what I'm trying to say basically is that there are some locations that I will not get myself involved the moment I assess these three things of developer. Number one, the money the real estate developer company is. Number two, the connection he has. And number three, see, there are some real estate development companies today in this Lagos that get their C of O signed, and it's like it's like they are using voodoo, but it's not voodoo. See, when it comes to real estate, let me use this for pidgin. You guys get mouth. Some people don't get mouth. Some people don't get level. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So the brand is far more important. The brand selling is far more important than the property they are selling. I've said it several times in all of my videos. So I honestly cannot tell you what's going on there. I obviously cannot say this is what has happened. I think what you should do basically is that you need to contact your realtor. If your realtor is not available, you need to set up an investigative team to go there, investigate what might have happened. The only thing I can say basically is that there are some places that have been repurchased in those axes. See, that location is hot cake. Hot cake. So governments will not use that place to play. So whoever must sell that place for you must have levels. Don't let us speak English too much. Just get them out. So you cannot just, someone that just started maybe today or maybe 1 year ago, say he's going to that place and once you say land and you go and buy. You just know you are the one that use your hand to look for trouble. So the safety of your investment is solely dependent on the strength and the capability of the developer. So I cannot tell you what is going on there. Set up an investigating thing. Let them go there and investigate. If you don't have access to your realtor, I'll advise you send someone to the company and find out what is going on. But there are some places that information reaching us are saying that they have been repurchased. So this questioner says, are you not saying we should not buy the Lekki Epe Expressway? I'm saying you should not buy you. In fact, that place right now is one of the hottest investment zones. Companies are launching estate there almost every day. Where they have airports. Even if I'm telling you not to buy, you should know that I don't know what I'm saying. I'm not saying you should not buy. You see, these are some of the things I said. I don't want to be misquoted. If you have money, buy that place. So I know some people that they have 4 or 5 estates of 5 properties in that Lekki Epe Expressway. How do you think their own retirement plan will be? Wonderful. Buy. If you can afford to buy, buy. The only thing you should just do basically is that diversify. Put your investment in strategic locations. Have at international airports. Have residential properties in Songotedo, Abijo. More importantly, Abramadesoya, Lekki scheme to have there. Buy shortlets on the mainland. Buy bed space on the mainland. Do you understand? Don't just put all your life in investment in one location. It does not guarantee, because if government set a regulations that ties development, or the development move from that place to another place, what's going to happen to your investment? That means it won't give you that return. So one of the things you must do, or that an intelligent real estate investor must do, is that you spread your investment so that you are earning rents from multiple sources, from your from the malls you have rented, from the shortlets that is bringing money, from your bed spaces, from your residential property in Abrabade Soya, from that's how to intelligent. So I'm not saying you should not buy. If you want to buy now, send me a DM. Me, I will take you to where you will buy. Okay, I'm not going to mention names of brands because I'm not paid to do. I'm not marketing. I'm not marketing, and I'm not paid to market. I'm just doing it based on our own area of expertise and what we know about that location. So that is what we use in recommending. You want to buy like Epe Expressway? If you can afford it, send me a DM. Let's book inspection for you to see what is going on there. So I hope that has answered the question. So the final question, I've stayed way beyond beyond the time I had, but I'm going to take one more questions. So if you have questions, do well to, you can drop it on the comment section. Let's interact on the comment section. Drop your questions. So I only have just 5 more minutes and I'll be rounding off this live stream. I have just 5 more minutes and I'm going to round up this live stream. Okay, so I have, this question is long. Also, that is why it's going to be our final question for today. It's quite lengthy. Can you please state all the approvals I must ask when I want to buy a property in Lagos? You now see the reason why it's going to be the final question. Okay, now, there is a general building approval, but I'm just going to state this. Now, the first approval, okay, that will be given to the real estate developer the moment they've submitted everything. I think a lot of people have done videos on the requirements, the document and things you have to do. So the first thing is there's an approval to start construction. That's the first thing. Now, for some of those buildings, okay, that you are seeing government marked red, sealed, the tendency is that many of them didn't get the approval to start construction. Okay, that is number one. Now, there's an approval that will also give them to continue or to validate the foundation they've done. There's an approval. So, because there are some, if you have been following the Lagos State Building Management Control, they always set some important criteria and regulations for foundation. So, because of my time, I will not be able to go to, but I'm going to be talking, maybe one of these videos, I'm going to explain some of these things so that you can understand it. So, there are some criteria on the kind of foundation, on the kind of soil, on the kind of soil testing. So, they must approve the foundation. Then, after the foundation, there will also be another approval for the decking. If the decking has met some regulations, they will also get an approval for this. So there are several approvals that are given, but just note that some of these approvals are always given, okay, or are always given at. Now, what happens basically is that apart from general approval that is being given by Lagos State government, the Lagos State Building Management Control, LAFSCA, okay, they periodically, okay, go to check and ensure if these people are building according to the said regulations, the foundation, okay. In fact, even if your block setting, which most people consider to be the most simplest, If you do it wrongly, they will ask you, they will seal that project. Now for decking too, they will come and check to see if, because they don't want a situation of building collapse, God forbid. That happened majorly in some places of the Lagos mainland. So they also an approval for that as well. Okay, so as the building progresses, the approvals that must be given. Now, what you must now do basically, or for somebody, for some real estate investors that may want to buy, excuse me. So for some real estate investors that may want to build, kind of that all these approvals are needed. Now, if you have built your foundation and you have not gotten an approval from LAPSCA to continue, if you say because you have applied for that approval and you are building, a lot of people say, let me use pidgin, it's sure for me that they will give us government don't give us for foundation, they will give us for decking. If you now build in anticipation that you will get approval and you have done the decking when they have not asked you to start decking, and government goes or LAPSCA goes there and they found that you have built without getting approval to do so, the kind of penalty you will pay, in some places 10 million, in some places 5 million. Apologies. I apologize. The network was very bad. Thank God. These are some of the issues, okay, that we face. Okay, so I'm going to round off with this. So the moment you build without getting the permission to do so, it comes with a lot of severe penalties, and this is why we have a lot of places that are sealed up. If you go to some sites today, there are places that have been sealed, and they will tell you sealed by, you will see it there, Lagos State government not going to let them use their hands seal the place. So these are some of the things that you want to avoid. So this is why you need to understand these basic regulations. Apologies for the break in transmission. I'm back online. Please come back online. I'm back online. We're back. The devil is a liar. The network just went pew, just like that. But we're back. All right. So these are some of the things that came up. Okay, I'm back online. Thank you for joining. It was not planned, but God punish Satan. This information must go around. People need to know. So that is some of those stages, okay, for the questions that was raised. So these are some of the stages, okay, that is being required, or the levels of approval, please return this water, that is being required as you are constructing and building in Lagos. So if you have further questions, things that you are not familiar with, you can drop a question. Thank you very much for everybody that have joined us today. Please, on the 10th, we're also going to be having another live session. It's going to be very, very interactive and enlightening. Thank you very much. See you on the 10th.